guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dana and this channel is all about SMS beauty, which is skincare, makeup, sunscreen. Today we've got the middle one, makeup, and one of I feel like the most highly anticipated by me releases in a while. We're obviously talking about the Chanel Le Beige Water Fresh Complexion Touch. I had to catch myself because I'm so used to saying the Water Fresh tint that this is a new one, and yeah. So let's start off with kind of the basics of it. This video is going to be power packed because I feel like there are just so many questions I have, and I thought probably everyone else does too. So I'm going to try to get every single thing in as much as possible. I will have timestamps below, so if you just want to see a certain application or whatever, just go ahead and click that. If you do, if you enjoy it, of course give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, because we have lots of fun videos around here. But otherwise, let's get in and let's figure out what this stuff is all about. Okay, so this is the package that it came in. So Chanel does one thing right, they do the experience. This one was a smaller package, but some of my others are like a full-on heavy box that you lift up and there's paper and all that stuff. And they do make it kind of sustainable too, because this is all paper. And then you open it up and ta-da! I've already taken it out, but I did want to show you this packaging because I think it's beautiful, even though it's just paper. It's not really fancy otherwise. So this is the product. It comes in this kind of beige packaging. It's called Le Beige. And this is the Water Fresh Complexion Tint. So this retails for $65, which is the same price as the Water Fresh Touch. I can't even say it. The tint. This is the touch. It's gonna be hard for me to say that. But this one comes in 20 milliliters, or what is that, 0.7 fluid ounces. So I have both of them here, obviously. This is actually a new one because I was worried that they were discontinuing it, so I bought a new one. I love this stuff. So this one comes in 1 fluid ounce, which is 30 milliliters, and this obviously is 20 milliliters, 0.7 fluid ounces, so you're getting less of it. But when you open it up, you will find it comes in a sleeker kind of packaging. This is what it looks like compared to the tint. These are what they kind of look like. And the droplets in this are bigger to the kind of visible eye. This one, they just seem like they're there, you can see them, but it's kind of, like a more dispersed almost look. They've also kind of minimized the packaging. So this one, I think the size is the exact same, but there's this clear frosting around it. So it's like a circle and then a square around it. This is just the circle. And you do get a brush in it, just like the old tint. The brush is quite a bit different. It's a little bit smaller, but the tip is the main difference. So this one is kind of a kabuki, but it's an angled kabuki. And this one goes to a tip. So you can see the difference there. And the new Complexion Touch does come in 16 shades, which is a step up from the original tint. I believe in the beginning that came in maybe like 5 shades, and now they've increased it to, I want to say 8 or 10, maybe more. But this one definitely comes in more shades, but that makes sense because this is really, they say like medium coverage. So this is more of a foundation or a concealer, and that's kind of what the point of it is. Whereas this one is one of the more sheer coverages, kind of like a tint, but even less than some of your other like tinted moisturizers. This is very sheer. Okay, a few more points in it. They say that it is a makeup product infused with ultra concentrated micro droplet pigments. I'm reading from the website, by the way. Medium coverage formula offers customizable application. You can conceal or you can use it all over. And it says for flawless, incredibly natural looking finish. Composed of 60% water, it features lightweight gel technology to deliver a unique cooling sensation. And then it goes into kind of like the ingredients in it. I'm not coming to this for the ingredients, I'm coming to it for makeup. So to me, that's not important. If that is important to you, just, And then how to apply. This is interesting because I was wondering. Dispense on the back of your hand and use the included brush or your fingertips to blend the micro droplet pigments. You can conceal, use precisely apply, and blend in with the brush for a light touch dab onto cheekbones, forehead. So I got 2 shades. They released this in the UK and in Canada first and not the US. And I was just like, now I know how all of my subscribers who are not in the US feel. Terrible. But I think in the US we don't get that as often. So, I had to experience it once, I guess. So because I'm crazy, what I did is I bought one from the UK and I'm having it shipped over here. It has not arrived yet because it does take longer and it was a whole process. Probably wouldn't do it again. I would just wait and be patient like a normal person, because like a week later this dropped and I got it within 2 days. And I did buy it from the Chanel website. I don't think it's up on Ulta yet, but I got the shade BD21. Now, I'm not going to be able to insert swatches really because I don't have the other one, but I did get it in the shade 30. I forget if it has like a letter in front of it. So I wanted to get 2 different shades because it was very hard to find my correct shade. This shade is going to be too light on me. You're going to notice that when I put it on. It is what it is. That's fine. Like, it'll be perfect for me in the winter. But I can tell you that it's very, very hard to kind of find your shade because their swatches are absolute garbage, like literal garbage. If you can find swatches of somebody else, like just Google swatches for this, it might be more helpful, and I wish I could help you, but obviously like I'm gonna have 2 shades that might help a little, but not so much. So that's a lot. I've already talked for like 10 minutes. Let's get in. I'm gonna apply it so many different ways. The first way that I'm gonna apply it is exactly like they say. So I'm gonna apply it to the back of my hand, and then I'm gonna use the little brush to put it on my face. And then I'm gonna try different ways. Also, I have nothing on my face right now. I am doing it without moisturizer, without sunscreen, and I'm contemplating maybe doing it with other like base products also, because that's definitely gonna change how it looks. And we'll just kind of see, because it just depends on how motivated I am and how long this video is gonna be. All right, let's jump in. This is the very first way, the like most basic way to apply it. Okay, so I'm going to be applying it to the back of my hand, and then I'm picking it up with the brush. I have played around with this just a little bit, so I have just a little dab. I have played around, and then you get it like that. And I can tell you, it's definitely fuller coverage than the original. Not fuller, but like more coverage than the tint, which is exactly what it's supposed to be. And it dries down much, much quicker and kind of like, not matte, but it really just feels almost like your skin. But I do think that the brush is gonna be a better way to apply it. I don't like it. I've tried it with my fingers and I didn't really love it. But look at that, you can see the coverage. Maybe not in the video because of these silly lights, but can you see that? The brush actually is not bad. I mean, I think any brush would work, so you don't have to use this. But if you want to get more kind of targeted coverage, this brush is actually pretty good. It's just awkward to hold. Okay, I've done the top part of my face, and now I kind of just want to squeeze some on my finger and do this, because this is a little bit more my speed, just quicker in general. And you can kind of honestly like swipe with the brush. It doesn't make a big difference, and I'm not seeing a lot of brush strokes. You could probably dab too, but this brush is really kind of meant more for swiping, I would say. Yeah, I'm gonna cover up the redness on my eyes. Let's try this. Okay. Wow. I am looking a little kind of washed out, just because again, this color is probably too light for me, especially in the summer, but this is not how I would wear it. I would put like some blush or some bronzer on, but I do like that I have this shade actually, because it is a good shade for the winter time. Now, my first impressions of it is like dry to the touch. So I think this is going to be a really great transfer proof makeup. It doesn't seem to give me the glow like that this Water Fresh tint gives me. I don't think that's what it's meant for. I really think this is more supposed to be just like a foundation or concealer, and I can see myself wearing it in a variety of ways. I have a little bit of a glow, but it's mainly from the lights. Like, I know that I say that, but it really is. It's not because of this makeup, and it hasn't left my face streaky. I think that the brush, I prefer the brush for this than I do for the Water Fresh tint. I don't love this. I use my hands for the tint, but I really do like this kind of brush, especially because if you're using it like a concealer, you can get in right here to the corner of your eye, you can get onto your eyelid, you can kind of just get it more targeted than you would want to with maybe the tint. So it's beautiful. I think it's giving me, I wouldn't say medium coverage. This is probably like light medium, not sheer, but light medium. And I think you can build it up. Like, let's see. Let's try building it up on my cheeks because I have a little bit of like redness coming through. And now I'm gonna try it with the brush. So I just put a little there. And if I'm trying to build up coverage, I usually don't swipe as much. I kind of dab. But now I'm gonna actually brush because I think you do need that brushing method to kind of break the pigment. I don't see it building at all. I think it actually took away some coverage there. Let me try my fingers for that. I think it's because it doesn't really build. So I'm not gonna say that it's buildable. I'm gonna say go in and with your first layer, and that's gonna be your layer, but I could be wrong. Maybe a sponge works. Let's try a sponge on the other side. I'm gonna put a little on the back and then break it. It works a little bit better if you want to build it with the sponge, but I just don't think this is a buildable concealer slash foundation. I just don't. Okay, so that is the first method. And now what I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna put on some moisturizer and sunscreen because I'm gonna go out for the day and I want to see what it looks like under a normal set of, like a normal base. So let's wash this off. You know, I think this would wear fine, but I do wanna see what it would wear like with my normal stuff. So BRB. All right, we're back. It's been a while, but you don't know that. And I have a full face of moisturizer, sunscreens on. So I used the Rephr moisturizer. I will insert a little clip of it here. And then I let that sit. This is why it took a while. And then I went in with my first layer of Coola. This is the Sun Silk Drops. I have a review. It'll probably come after this video, but I've used almost half of it, so that's good. And then because it's only SPF 30, I go in, typically I let that sit, and then I go in with La Roche-Posay UVMune. This gives me SPF 50. It also helps with the UVA protection. So that's why I kind of layer these two. You do not have to do that. That's just me. But now you can see that I have a very, very glowy base, which is pretty much my standard. I like glowy. So obviously if you do not like glowy, do the opposite of me. You could use a mineral sunscreen, but you could use a sunscreen that has like the mattifying properties, so it leaves your face completely matte. This is just what I like to do, so I am prefacing my application of the Complexion Touch with that. So again, that's what I would normally do, so that's why I want to test that out. But we are going to go ahead, zoom in, I'm going to put it on my face, and I'm going to get ready for the day, and I'm going to wear it all day, and then I'll check in at the end of the day and see how it's looking. So let's go. All right, I'm still using the little brush. I honestly don't mind it. I'll probably at some point try one of my other brushes, but I do want to just kind of go with this brush just because this is what comes with it. And you know, if somebody doesn't have any other brushes, I might as well showcase the one that is included. You're getting it for $65, right? That must mean that it's worth something. I'm going to show you just because, you know, this is a video to show you, but this is what it looks like when you use your fingers. It's not bad actually, but I think what you could do is use your fingers and then kind of like what I do for the Water Fresh tint, go in with the brush or sponge to make sure you don't have any streaks afterward. This is kind of like the base layer, and then you perfect. since I did use my hands and the brush, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the sponge on this side to kind of make sure that everything is blended in. And then on the other side, I will use the little brush because I think that kind of gives us a snapshot of all the different tools you can use. Now let's use the brush. Definitely got to get your hairline because you have more coverage, and this color is a little, like I said, little yellowy orangey on me. Honestly, I like the sponge better. I just think it kind of diffuses it a little bit better. Okay, let's take a look up close. Definitely get coverage. I don't think it's medium, but it's more than I am used to. So I'm trying to blend it out a little bit better because you can kind of see, I think the main thing is that you can see the difference between, like, there's some here and there's none on my lips. So be sure to blend. Alright, so that is the base. I didn't put more on just because I don't want it to be medium coverage today. I want it to be a little bit light medium. That's a zit that I had not seen. Oh wow, also, yeah, it's just more coverage, and you know, if the shade is off by a little, you're gonna have a line. I just had like a line across my cheek or my chin. So that's something to keep in mind. But now that I'm seeing a few little zits, I think I'm gonna go in and use it really like a concealer and spot conceal. The thing with using this as a concealer is you do have to break the pigments, and so then if you're breaking them while you're kind of blending it on your face, you can be kind of moving some of the coverage around. So it might make sense to break them on the back of your hand and then kind of dab. But I don't love it for a spot concealer because it kind of just pushes it all around versus covering. So I wouldn't necessarily, like, this is just moving it on my chin. It's like not giving me any coverage there. No matter what I do, let's try a sponge. No, I'm losing coverage. This is crazy. Let's try it blended in my fingers. See, that's the thing, like, I can't spot conceal with this, so I'm gonna almost have to go in with another layer. Okay, yeah. So kind of initial thoughts before I take a little break to finish my makeup. Go in with a layer and make sure that that is gonna be like your layer. So once you stop working, it's really hard to build up coverage. So while you can definitely use it as kind of a concealer, I would use it more like under my eyes, on my eyelids, and maybe like to cover redness on my cheeks. But it seems to take coverage away when I let a layer sit and then add more. Like with my chin, it was just making it bare. Like it was, every time I would rub it in with the brush or the sponge, it was just going away. So it's not buildable in my opinion. But it's a nice layer of kind of more matte, natural finish, like complexion than definitely the tint is. But do I think it's like the most mind-blowing medium, light medium coverage foundation? No, I don't. I'm gonna finish my makeup though and leave my like final thoughts to the end. But it's not finicky. I would just say like figure out the way that you like to use it. If you don't like using your hands, I think the sponge makes sure that you don't have any streaks. This kind of works the same as your fingers. For me, I'll probably end up using my fingers more because it is quicker, or just a bigger brush. But I do like this for kind of getting into those small little corners around my eyes. So that's what it looks like with nothing else, just my skincare on. And then I'll put makeup and we'll come back at the end of the day. All right, we're back. I've got my makeup on. I've got some thoughts. I'm trying to open this compact. That's what It took me a while to get it to a point that I liked it, and I still don't love it. I am looking at like my mouth area, and I'll zoom in a second, but it's like cakey. I think part of it, I'll be honest, is because I don't use like medium coverage anything. I use skin tints that are almost undetectable, and that's what I like. I just don't like full coverage, so this feels more full coverage to me. And it just feels like there's a noticeable difference in areas. I also had a lot of issues up here. There's like a bald spot, which I don't have a bald spot there normally, so it was definitely this. And adding coverage with this is very difficult for something that's supposed to be like a concealer slash foundation. You would think that it would go on over itself pretty easily, and I don't find that to be the case. So it looks kind of not great there, not great there, not great there, and along the my hairline I can see my pores, which is a weird spot. But let me zoom in and show you. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see what I mean right here, but like I can see creasing right there, me making a weird face, and then up here there's just more pores, which is an odd place for pores. And then this area was very hard. I had a bald spot. I used a sponge for a while, and that did help. I have a feeling that it's gonna break up around my face. If I eat or drink anything, it's just gonna be like plop. It doesn't look great under my eyes. I don't have powder on. It's just that, and then I have like some bronzer and blush and a little bit of highlighter. So that's kind of what it is. I just don't love. All right, so I'm gonna wear it the rest of the day, and I'll check in. It's like 1 p.m., so I'll probably check in around 8 or so and see how it has held up. Hi guys, welcome back. It's the end of the day. Whoa. I did a check-in earlier in the car, and in the natural light it's so much more visible, but I've basically lost all coverage here where my sunglasses were. Around my mouth it's not terrible, but it's pretty cakey, and it just looks rough. My blush did stay on, and I have highlighter as well, and the forehead actually looks a little bit better than it did earlier, but it's just not my favorite. I was thinking about it in the car, and I was like, this is a foundation. This is closer to medium coverage, just not what I love, I was gonna say. But for a $65 foundation, it should last. I wasn't doing anything crazy. Like, the fact that it's just coming off my nose is kind of quite crazy and wild together. The rest of it, it looks okay, but I do feel like it's like settling into my pores or like my lines. Yeah, let's zoom in so you can see. It just looks cakey around my mouth for sure. You know, the pore part of it that I see more like on my cheeks right there, that's very, like, you would have to be looking at my face in a mirror. I don't even think you would see the nose part if you were just outside normally. The reason I feel like I see it so much is because I see the highlighter. It's like a gold highlighter, and then I don't see the foundation there. You know, for $65, this is gonna be a big pass for me. I really was expecting, I don't know, something kind of like this. I swear to God, if they discontinue this, I'm gonna be so freaking mad, because now that I use this, I love the Water Fresh tint even more, and I want to use it even more. If you want something, my suggestion, of course there are a bajillion foundations out there with like light medium to medium coverage. I would always suggest the MAC Face and Body. I think you're going to be able to get sheer coverage with that. You're going to be able to build it up. It's long lasting. It can be layered. There are just so many benefits to it. It's like half the price, and there are more shades. So like, to me, don't buy this. Like, I don't think this is worth it. I'm gonna have 2 bottles of it, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. because I don't really foresee myself getting a lot of use out of it. Even to use it as a concealer, like it doesn't look that great under my eyes. It's kind of like wearing off, which is like, what? I wasn't even touching my under eyes. So for me to wear it more regularly, I would have to be like, it would have to blow my socks off as a concealer or as a foundation, and it's doing neither. So I don't know. I mean, here's the other thing. I do live in a hot, humid climate. Today it's actually not humid out, and I was not really outside, but I'm wondering if this, you know, I'm going to keep using it, I'm going to keep trying it, but I'm wondering if it's just not going to do great in hotter weather. So of course, like I can try it when it cools off in like 8 months. And I'm going to try it layering it under different products and different things, and maybe mixing it with other products. So I will definitely check back in with you guys, and it'll either be featured in kind of like products I've changed my mind about, or maybe I'll just do like a 3-month kind of follow up on it. I don't know. But right now, not super thrilled about it. Kind of a big letdown, to be honest, because I was so excited for this, and it's just not doing it for me. Also, I have not watched any other reviews. They make me anxious because I was like, I want mine. So I will probably go watch some reviews later after this is all published and see what other people think, and I'm curious to see if others feel the same way. So I think that's all I have to say for now. I do think it could be better on maybe dry skin, but I don't even know. I don't feel like it's a skin type thing. I think it's just the coverage is not long lasting, and maybe it's my nose. Maybe if I wear it everywhere else, it'll be fine, but like $65, I have to do all these caveats to make it work. Not really my favorite thing. So I'll end this video here. I feel like it's going to be a long one, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.